Hey everybody, this is Captain Kyle and I'm here with another Transformers review. This time it is the toy set we were teased about for months before Hasbro Pulsecon. It is the Covert Agent Ravage and the Decepticon Forever, or Decepticons Forever Ravage set, put out by Hasbro, that includes a new version of Ravage from Beast Wars and the original G1 tape reissued. Very cool set. I'm gonna break this guy out of his plastic prison. We're gonna check him out, and we're gonna check out the cassette too, though that's kind of simple to transform. And we're gonna see how cool it is, and even talk about the original release of the Beast Wars Ravage. Be right back. So the packaging on this is a very cool design. In fact, I've already popped it out to examine the toy, and I noticed there's a little slot in the background. Normally I'd be showing you this first, but I'm gonna show you this background piece. It has a slot right here for the cassette. That's kind of neat. I mean, it shows his chair, which he can't sit in because it's just a picture, but it shows where in the actual show he transformed into a cassette and went into the slot, and for about 13 seconds maybe, and then he came out. I don't know why he did it in the first place, but pretty cool packaging. But let's get to the toy. So as I mentioned, it comes with two versions of Ravage. This is a new Beast Wars style Ravage from the Kingdom line. It appears to be a retool, slight remold of the Cheetor toy, which kind of makes sense because the original Beast Wars Ravage, which was only released in Japan, it's got small feet though, doesn't like to stand, was actually a remold, retool of Transmetal Cheetor. It was very cool, though it had its issues. This is a retool remold of the Beast Wars Cheetor from Kingdom, and it's actually pretty clever. And of course we have the cassette too, and his guns. Now Ravage does come with the two guns. The original Japanese Beast Wars Ravage did have guns, and they actually kind of sprang out. I don't have that version anymore, and I couldn't find my Beast Wars Tigertron from BotCon to show a comparison, but he had spring-loaded guns, which is cool. These just go into his hand, which is fine. He doesn't need spring-loaded guns, and it's just something to eventually fail. But he definitely looks very similar to the on-screen representation of the Beast Wars Ravage, the Covert Agent Ravage of the Predacon Secret Police, as he called himself. He had a very interesting accent in Beast Wars. He had no accent in the original Transformers cartoon. In the Transformers comic, he did speak, but not a lot, and we can't really tell if he had an accent. But he is very poseable. He does not do a Jean-Claude Van Damme. His legs don't go off to the sides that much, but he does bend at the knee. His shoulders are very poseable. He's got pivot points on his arms. You can twist his fists around. So in comparison, he's actually about as poseable as the original. The original was actually very poseable because it was part of the Beast Wars line. So we didn't go back any steps. He does have something that the original did not. His jaw actually has a hinge, so his mouth can open and close. And here to see her cat friend is Sky, and she apparently likes this guy because she's rubbing up against him, though before she was knocking over the box. So it overall is a cool robot mode. Let's check him out in his beast mode. So the transformation is actually very similar, as you would expect, to Kingdom Cheetor, though there are some modifications because his head is set up in a different way, and it's actually a pretty clever transformation. Compared to the original, they had to do some very similar changes with the original one because his head, of course, was the same head in both bot mode and in beast mode. And his arms, instead of coming together as the Transmetal Cheetor did to form the head, were actually folded underneath, and at certain angles didn't look as good. Whereas on this one, they did solve the problem, and he looks good from all angles pretty much. His guns actually store on his legs, which you can probably store them there also in robot mode if you chose to have them holstered. And they point backwards because if they pointed forwards and they went off, they would basically blow off his front legs, which would be horrible. At least, for him, maybe not for his enemies. Articulation-wise, the paws move. You can bend the legs a little bit, not a ton. The back legs have more articulation, And you can twist him at the waist. It's kind of neat. So he could fall over like that. So overall, a cool beast mode. Now I'm going to quickly talk about the original cassette reissue that they created. That just changes obviously into a cassette and very quickly folds out into his original form, and you mount the guns on the side. Now obviously his new form is much larger as a toy than the original Ravage toy. On the show, Beast Wars Transformers were much smaller than Autobots, so they may have been similar in size, Ravage being one of the smaller Decepticons, and then when he became a Predacon, he may have been, again, similar in size to his original form. But it's a very cool set. Definitely recommend it if you're a fan of the original Ravage. I mean, it's great to have another Ravage. I have a bunch of these. I even have one in white who's not Ravage, but he's a medic. And this form is very cool, and it goes well with putting him right next to the original Beast Wars Ravage if you happen to have that one. Now he is still available, well, the set itself is still available on Hasbro Pulse for $52.99. You can follow the link in the description when they sell out, which they will eventually. There's also a link that you can search on eBay, and sometimes you can get some pretty good deals on those. I don't think we're gonna find these in Ollie's. That'd be weird. There you have it, Covert Decepticon Ravage, the second appearance in Beast Wars of a G1 character. First one being the Ghost of Starscream, second one being Ravage, and then the Discover the Ark kind of overshadowed the fact that he was in like 2 episodes and blew up, maybe 3. But if you're on the team of Decepticons Forever, it's a toy set for you. While you're waiting for your Covert Agent Ravage to show up, there's some other videos over here you can check out. Do the like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. Spread the word. We'll see you next time. As always, have fun and good hunting.